Shalom, shalom, my Israelite brothers and sisters, those that are near, those that are far off. I want to see if I can pull up some of my brothers that's in there on that post, on that page. Well, I put a post out there that said Romans 14th chapter is one of the most ignored pieces of advice in the letters of Paul. And brothers and sisters might have been wondering what I meant by that. So I'm going to come on here and tell you. But I want to see if some of my brothers is on there with their comments. I figure if they making comments, see, I don't have thumbs of lightning. So I don't type that good on Facebook. And besides that, I would much rather, it's much easier just to have dialogue and a general conversation. One person can type, but I can talk, you know, so that's what I was going to look at. And then on top of that, many times, since I don't want to be force-feeding no babies, no piece of meat, you know, everybody ain't going to be able to understand what's being said, and so I don't want nobody to misconstrue what I'm saying and twist my words and as though I'm saying something that I'm not. So that's the whole purpose for coming on here with the video. So just briefly, I wanted to come on here and see if I got some of them brothers that was on that page that might want to bring some of those comments that they was talking about. The reason why I say is that brothers and sisters just skip past the book of Romans. I said they ignore the book of Romans, and one of the reasons why is because this is the time of year that a lot of vainglory and self-righteousness kick in, okay? Because somebody have learned something that they brothers and sisters don't know. Namely that we speaking about holidays. So when I say that it's an ignored chapter, it's ignored chapter because it teaches you some wisdom about how do you deal with your brothers and sisters as you come to learn new knowledge versus knowledge that your brothers and sisters have not yet come to learn. And I just don't see that happening in a way that's productive amongst the Israelite family. Though grant you, some of the brothers and sisters over the years have grown, but you always have children are born every day. That means a new person coming to the truth every day. So some things we got to keep going over and over again, because when you're young, you're full of youth, you're full of fire, you're full of zeal. And as soon as you get something new, information that you never learned, most cases we take off and we run with it. We fly away with it. So the first thing I want to say to that new information that you're learning is the new information that you're learning about Christmas and about the holidays and about all of these things being heathenistic and pagan. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But you're not learning it so that you can go and start spewing it into the face of your brother or your sister. You are learning it so that you can incorporate it into your life and start teaching the next generation of children, namely your own children, these things so that you raise another generation that's in truth. But now what normally happens is that through this type of season, this is prime season for me to get out and practice and sharpen up my knife on everybody else that don't know what I know and make myself look good. Well, you ain't gonna make yourself look good. What you're gonna do is you're gonna make yourself, you're gonna make people not even want to be bothered with you. That's what's gonna happen. Because don't nobody need you coming around talking all this mess. And if that's what you're gonna do, it's best that you stay where you at and then live by those convictions until the Father gives you wisdom on how you're going to use the information that you do know in a way that becomes beneficial and productive to your brothers and sisters. For Hamashiach himself, he said, though I was equal with God, he made of himself no reputation and humbled himself as a man. He humbled himself beneath the lowest man so that he can raise the lowest man up. Okay? He put himself beneath other men so that he can raise men up. He didn't come out of heaven. He knew everything. He created everything. Yet he didn't come among his peers, slamming them to the ground face first so that he can make himself look good. He said, I'm already, though he was equal with the Most High, he made no reputation of himself. humbled himself and became a man like other men, and then walked with them and taught them out of love, not out of strife and not out of vainglory. And it puzzles me and it breaks my heart to see our brothers using the scriptures, and the scriptures that they're using, you're absolutely right, but you're using them in the wrong way. Because most cases we use the scriptures as a form of rebuke. But you rebuke them that are full age, that know better, that's all the way out of line. Them you rebuke. Some you rebuke, you reprove. Some you reprove. Those are those that are coming to know, and then they just need a little correction. So they say, oh no, this is just, you made a mistake right here. So just get over here. And that becomes building up. And then there's another group that don't know anything about what you know. Those people are to be edified, but you cannot edify them with the truth that you know. Henceforth, when I said that people ignore the 14th chapter of Romans like it's not there, we start dealing, it says, you know what? One man esteem a day. First thing it says that who are you that judges another man's servant? When that man determines whether his servant rise or fall. All of us are the Most High's children. You don't have the right to be passing no judgment on me, because you're not the one to determine whether I rise or whether I fall. You see? And it wouldn't be so bad if brothers was getting the information that they know and using it to build up the brothers and sisters and their family members, but they're not using it for that. You're using the information as a reason to cast people down and try to show them the error or their way, or to pass judgment on them, but you're not the one to determine whether they rise or whether they fall. Because the Most High will do for some tomorrow what he is doing for others today. And these are some of the things that we need to remember. One man esteem the day above another. Another man esteem every day alike. Okay, the Hebrew Israelite, he don't give no esteem to no heathenistic pagan holidays. You know why? Because through his studying in the Bible, he come to understand what's at the root of a thing. And so out of his honor and reverence for the Most High and trying to walk by the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments, he don't honor no days. But there's another man that esteems a day above another. Because if for whatever reason it is, he said, for you can't pass judgment on each other, because the one that esteemed the day, he esteem it because of his reverence to the Most High. One that don't esteem the day, he don't esteem a day because of his reverence to the Most High. So both of them are doing something completely different, but at the end result of their motive, they're both doing things born out of their reverence to the Most High. One Hebrew Israelite understands that Christmas is pagan. The Christmas tree is pagan. How do we know? We know these things from what the scripture says. But there is another man that do not know these things. And in his mind, he esteems that day because in his mind, through the generations or through the years that passed, he was taught that this was the Messiah's birthday. This was the day the Messiah was born. And because of that, he esteems that day above all other days. And the reason he do it is out of his reverence for the Most High. But who are you to determine whether another man's servant rise or fall? That's why I tell people, you hold fast to the convictions that the Most High gives you. You walk those things out before your brothers, and you let your demonstration speak for you, not your words. And if you don't have anything good to say where your brothers and sisters is concerned, it is best to be quiet and just let them see your demonstration. It is too much nonsense. And I'm telling you, our Hebrew Israelite brothers, our younger brothers, they love this season because this is the season that we wage all-out war. You wage all-out war on the very people that the Messiah told you, now you go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And rather than you go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel with a spirit of love and humility, you'd rather wait until this time of year come and go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel with a wicked motive yourself, ready to cast everybody down that is not doing what you're doing. And then when you're not received, you say that everybody is against you. Well, my mama and them ain't, well, my auntie and them, well, my, and they all into that pagan. But you know, it's really you that's out of order. Because the Most High didn't show you his word. so that you can go off and isolate yourself. He didn't show you his word so that you can go by and slap people in their face and do this. He showed you his word so that you can incorporate his word into your life and start building things in your life. You understand what I'm saying? When I say nothing ever gonna stop me from being around my family, I don't care what nobody say. Here's my thing. I ain't celebrated Christmas since my children were little. Since they were little kids. Since I was about 28, 29 years old. I'm going on 52 years old. So I'm talking about some odd over 20-something years that I ain't celebrated no Christmas, celebrated no Thanksgiving, celebrated no Easter. But I ain't none of them things ever stopped me from fooling with my family, because brotherhood and familyhood and blood ties override that foolishness. And you'd be surprised how many of my family have now, over the years, been coming out. And I'm just sitting there talking to one of my cousins a minute ago, telling them how zealous some of our young people are. And when he was telling me that another one of our cousins was coming, he said, boy, she gonna come in here talking that church stuff. And I said, that's okay. And I was ready for her when she did, because we don't debate, we're not dialogue, you understand what I'm saying? But we use the word of God wherever the door is open. But you know what? Guess what? She came through the door hollering, shalom. What that say? Yeah, it took 2 or 3 years for him to come out. And she come through the door with the report to tell me that the whole house is honoring the Sabbath. The whole house is doing this. All of the brothers and sisters on that end is in the word. They in the scripture. They studying things. But a few years ago, they didn't. And if I was running around here going to that house to visit them on the day that everybody is there just because they got a Christmas tree, and I come in, all right, you know that Christmas tree is pagan, you know that's heathen, you know, and I was doing all that, and chances are wouldn't nobody want to see me coming. So I'm not saying that the things that you're saying are wrong. I'm just saying that the way that you're using the information is wrong. You see? When it came to the same thing, he said one man believed, one man eateth herbs only. And one man believed that he can eat all things. The man that eat herbs don't despise the one that eat everything. And the one that eats everything don't despise the man that only eat herbs. He said, for the man eat herbs because he honor and reverence the Most High. And so he chooses his diet carefully. The one man that eateth these things that understands the dietary laws. And so the dietary laws are operating in his life out of the conviction that's born in his heart that come from the word of God. So that conviction is working on him. He don't go and despise the person that's eating everything. So what? They might still be eating pork. So what? They might still be eating crab. But it's not for you to become a despiser of them. You eat what you eat and honor the Lord. But see, to the person that eats everything, he don't know about the dietary laws. He don't know that the dietary laws exist. He don't know that God said there's things that was permissible and things that were prohibited. He don't know these things. So even though he eat all things, before he eat anything, he says his grace and asks the Father to sanctify his food and bless it. Therefore, both of them do what they do. They do something totally different, but it's for the same reason. At the end of the day, they honoring the Most High, because they are the Most High servant, and it is the Most High that determines whether his servant rise, whether his servant stand or fall. And sometimes we need to get ourselves out the way. No, we need to get ourselves in check first. Before we think that we're going to run out here and start teaching somebody, we need to be living by the things that the Most High have decreed in our life for us to live by. So let me give you an example. The scripture said there is none that do it good and not evil. Give me one person on here. Give me one person on here that can tell me that you're keeping the totality of the Most High's laws, that you ain't breaking not one of them. Give me one person. Give me one person. All I need is just one person to come on here. Just come on here and say, look, I'm keeping the laws. I'm keeping all the statutes. I'm keeping all the holy days, the holy high days. I'm keeping all the Sabbaths. I'm keeping everything that the Most High told me to do. Come on here and tell me that you're doing that. Come on and tell me that you're doing that. And we're not saying don't hold fast to your conviction. We're saying this: don't worry about the mule going blind. Keep your own jackass in line. The mule belongs to the person next door. How you going to be looking at the person next door mule and your jackass done climb the fence and running down the next block. And this is the condition of a lot of our brothers that's harping on people about Christmas, but you still fornicating. Harping on people about Thanksgiving, but you still smoking dope. Harping on people, but you still getting drunk. Harping on people, but you mad at somebody. Harping on people, but you still cursing somebody out when the book say, let no unclean things proceed from out of their mouth. You harping on all of these things, and you ain't taking care of your children. When the book say, he that don't assume the responsibility for his own house is worse than an unbeliever. That person right there that you harping on, at least they got a good job. At least they taking care of their children. At least their ice box is full. Their children are fed. They're doing right things. And even in a wicked system that we know is wicked because of the fact that we know it's wicked because we have been reading the Bible and coming into truth. That person that don't know got all them things in line, and then they'll go out and take their money, and because of a season in their conviction, they'll go out and bless somebody. When you say you love the Most High, and you don't celebrate Christmas, and you don't celebrate these things, but you ain't loving nobody, you won't do nothing from nobody. If you see your brother down and out, you won't help him. You'll talk about him. You'll talk about the women. You'll run all these people down. But you'll come out during this season and start running your mouth, trying to elevate your own self. And you look like a fool. So, we better check ourselves, people. Because these very people that you're talking about, these are the people that the Most High gave you to live your life with. I don't have to celebrate Christmas to love on my family. My family know that I ain't celebrating no Christmas, ain't accept no gifts, ain't gave out no gifts in over 20 years. Do that stop me from coming around? No. Because when I want to bring a gift, I'm going to bring the ultimate gift. While y'all giving y'all's gifts away, y'all do all that. But if you can do it, you can't not prohibit me from doing it. So y'all go on and do that. Y'all go on and do that. Because guess what? I got a gift to give y'all. I got a gift to give y'all. I'm going to give you a history lesson for 5 minutes. If I can indulge myself through Thanksgiving turkey and through hearing jingle bells and all of these other things, if I can endure those things with my family, surely y'all ought to be able to endure 5 minutes of your brother. You see? It has to be used. The Most High had to give you wisdom to reach the people that he told you to go reach. Romans 2nd chapter say, thou art inexcusable, O man, whoever you are, that judgest another man. For wherein you judges, you condemn yourself. For you yourself have been guilty of the same things. So here's the question. For those of y'all that want to keep on, can't wait to get Christmas is pagan, Thanksgiving is pagan, all these pagan things out of your mouth. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever received a Christmas gift in your life? Have you ever gave a Christmas gift in your life? Have you ever cooked a Thanksgiving turkey? Have you ever sat down and ate one? Have you ever went to church on Easter Sunday? Have you ever done any of these things? Because if you ever done any of these things, I don't care if it wasn't but one time in your life. Who art thou, old man? You are without excuse that judges another man. You have condemned yourself, for you yourself have been guilty of the same thing. That's what the book say. And the Most High said, if you deal with your brother and your sister in that type of treacherous manner, he said, that thing that I forgave you, I will go back and I will bring the sin that you did. That was just like what your brother did. I will bring that thing back and I will judge you for it, and you being condemned. And many of our brothers and sisters don't understand that your flow is clogged up because somewhere along the line, you have condemned your own self by judging your brother for something that you was guilty of, that the Most High had mercy and grace and compassion on you for. What y'all think about that? Come on, somebody. I know somebody got something to say. Because when we put that post on there, all kind of stuff was coming. All kind of stuff. Well, I think I ignored Paul. Because Paul was letters and he, all that stuff on there. You see? I don't have to trip on holidays. You know why? Because I love my family all through the year. All through the year. It ain't a week that go by that I ain't connected with my family. And so why? You think I'm going to stop and not miss the week because it's a holiday? God forbid. Come on, somebody. That's right, big brothers. That's right. Judge not that you be not judged. For what judgment you judge, it shall be measured to you again. That judgment shall be met with the same measure. If you judge me harshly, God said that thing I forgave you with, I will bring it back. So there was a story in the Bible. There was a story in the Bible of a wicked servant. He owed the king $1 million. The king said, bring me that servant. He told that servant, he said, look, you ain't paying me my money. You're on your way into prison, into slavery. Bring me his wife and his children. They're all going to slavery. The Bible says that the servant fell down on his face and said, oh, please, king, have mercy on me. Please have mercy on me. I'll pay you when I can. It said that the king had compassion on him, picked the servant up, and told him go his way. He was forgiven. But no sooner as that servant got out of the king's presence, he found one of his brothers that owed him $10. He said, and immediately he went and seized his brother and started choking him, grabbed him by the throat. Give me my money, give me my money, give me my money. And his servant, his brother, fell down at his feet and said, please, brother, I know I owe you $10. Please have mercy on me. Please have mercy on me. No, I ain't having mercy on you. Call the police. And they called the police and cast that fellow servant into prison. But what he didn't count on is that the eyes of the Lord are in every place beholding the good and the evil. And so the eyes seen that wicked thing that servant that had been forgiven had done. And he went back and told the king. And many of you don't know that you have hurt somebody, that you have crushed somebody, that you have slandered somebody because of what you know. And now their heart is hurt. They have went back and they have cried out to the same God that forgave you. The person that seen it went back to the king and they told the king all that evil servant had done. And the king said, bring me that wicked servant. Bring me that wicked servant. And he got him. He said, did not I forgive you for $1 million debt? Why couldn't you have forgiven your brother for the $10 that he owed you? You are a wicked servant. Bring me the servant. Bring his wife. Bring his children. And cast him into prison and send him into slavery. This is how the Most High feel. These things ain't in the Bible for nothing. Many of all of it at some point have been steeped in wickedness because our whole history was stolen from us and we didn't know nothing else. It's a thing of grace that any of us are out, that any of us can see, that any of us are woke. But if God woke you up, what make you think he won't wake your brother up? And how ain't gonna wake your brother up when you all in the way? See, the Father don't need us to do what he said he was going to do. If you're going to do anything, you should be showing love and compassion to your brother while he is in this place of ignorance. You should be in the trenches bearing one another's burdens instead of can't wait to open up your mouth on somebody and tell somebody what you don't do no more. Well, I don't do no more. As though it was you that done it. If it had not been for the Most High removing that thing from you, you would still be in a mud. You'll still be in a hog's pen just like anybody else. So I'm telling you, I'm coming to serve notice on y'all right now. Y'all better stop this foolishness. And when I put a post on there, you better come with wisdom, exercising wisdom, ready to build your brothers and sisters up. Otherwise, a video like this one will roll out there. And I'm telling you, because you're not getting the lost sheep. You ain't doing the work. He who is without sin, throw the first rock. Are you going to tell me that the men of Israel couldn't throw a rock back then? The prophets couldn't throw a rock. The priests couldn't throw a rock. But you can throw a rock at will? Yeah. So, every time this wicked season roll around, it is the Most High that is giving us an opportunity to let his light shine before men in the midst of dark places. Well, I ain't gonna be in the midst of the, I ain't going over there and all that stuff. I ain't going over there and all this stuff. I know, you know why? Because your heart ain't right. And though you say you're woke, you're still asleep. Because if you was really woke, you would understand what your responsibility was. In every place that is dark, you would be there. Go, if you'll be there. Be there in the nightclub. Be there in the Christian church. Be at every function. When it's Christmas, when it's Thanksgiving. I want to be the one. Like I just left some of my people's house. I want to be the one to dismantle. Who do you think, when it's time and it's all over, I'm the one in there dismantling the Christmas tree because it's a spiritual thing to me. I am the one in there dismantling it like Josiah did when he found the book of the law in the temple of the Most High and sent the instruction to the men of Israel. Go and dismantle every altar. That's how that go. I want to be the one. Let me go in there and dismantle the Christmas tree in prayer and in spirit, and let that be symbolic of Israel waking up, destroying the idols that's holding their brothers and sisters as captives. So y'all forgive me. Y'all know I get excited sometimes, but some things get up under my fingernails. Yeah, he who was out without sin, cast the first stone. Who are you? How can you judge another man's servant when you don't determine whether he stand or whether he fall? Who art thou, old man? You are without excuse that judgeth another man's servant. And you condemn yourself because you yourself have been guilty of the same thing. Guilty. Brothers that's married now, all they want to do is talk about the brothers that's fornicating, and you condemn yourself because you was fornicating. People that been delivered from smoking and alcohol, all they want to do is talk about what they don't do no more, and you condemn yourself because you yourself once was doing the same thing. Yeah, so when we start talking about what's real, people can reject your words, but your demonstration can't be denied. Your demonstration can't be denied. And everybody think you want to gloat about because I'm Israel. Well, let me serve notice on you, Israel. There are Gentiles that's going to come from the east and from the west and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob while the children of the kingdom are cast into outer darkness where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. Many of you ain't going nowhere. You might be here on this earth physically with your mouth talking about you, Israel. But you're going into outer darkness when this thing wrap up if you don't get it together. That's what we're talking about. You're going into outer darkness when you don't get it together. Now, when we start looking at that book of Romans, it said, for no man die unto himself, and no man live unto himself. And whether a man live or die, he live unto the Lord, or he die unto the Lord, that the Lord may be both Lord of both of them, the living and the dead. You see? You ain't going to get away from these things. How can I say these things with such conviction? I can say them because I've been there. I've been the one that didn't nobody want to see coming, because every time I came around, I had to be talking about what everybody else was doing and what I didn't do and what I didn't that and this and that and the other. But I learned better than that, because after the Most High got through slapping me around, and put me on all this crazy stuff and making me lose everything, then it was like, okay, I ain't all that great no more. He said, no, I didn't give you everything I gave you. And I didn't give it to you so that you could abuse the people that I gave it to. I gave it to you to be a blessing. And you take what I give you to be a blessing to the people, and now you're going to become a stumbling block to them. He said, I'll take it all back and then leave you to yourself, looking stupid before the very ones that you was talking all that nonsense to. Now you're the one with all the problems. So I hope y'all get it. Let's do some good, Israel. Let's do some good, Israel.